Well, good morning, everybody. I started my day off with a little cup of coffee in the Fleet Farm mug. So, you know, today's going to be a good day because of that. Sam, what do you got going today?
Violin.
He's got a violin lesson. And then you know what else you're going to do when you're in town? You are going to run over a whole pile, actually that whole pile of recipes to Emily.
Okay.
Emily has been working... What?
I'll stay at Emily's for a little while.
You're going to stay at Emily's for a while?
Yeah.
So Emily has been working on inputting all of the recipes for the cookbook that's going to be coming out. We don't have a date yet. She's working much faster at it than I am working at it right now. So she kind of had this thought that maybe we would have this all done and ready to be shipped by Christmas. I don't know if that's going to happen. But anyway, she is working. She's about halfway through inputting recipes, and now I just got her another pile of them. And boy, we have already decided that this is going to be called Volume 1 and that there's going to for sure have to be a Volume 2. So I'm really so excited about that, getting going and just kind of designing the layout and all of that. It is going to be a hard copy. Something that will actually get shipped right to you. At this point, I don't have a good way to do an e-book. I mean, I know there's probably hundreds of ways out there. I just haven't researched it enough, but hopefully that will be coming eventually as well. Okay, so the day is going to start here with algebra. So now that Sam is eating cereal, he's going to be a captive audience. We are going to work on his algebra, correcting the work. This is actually Wednesday, isn't it? We're going to be correcting Monday's assignment, and then we will do another algebra assignment today. I can't really talk.
Well, I didn't have math on Tuesday.
Right. I didn't put math down yesterday.
Mondays, but then we're still
doing
on
Wednesdays.
Time, yeah.
Yep, I'm with you all the way. Yesterday, Joseph and Peter and Maria, they all had well child checkups, which had been canceled multiple times over the last like 8 months. And so we finally were able to get in and do that. Everybody is like healthy as a horse, basically. And what else is going to come from that? Yeah, we went to a thrift store that is in the same town where our clinic is. And maybe when the stuff comes through the laundry today, I'll give you a little rundown. We did pick up Maria a few things. It just seems like she's always the one that tends to need some clothes. Her and then Joe, because like Sam's stuff just doesn't fit for Joe. He has just a different body shape. And so I always have to kind of get him his own things. And then a lot of his stuff transfers to Peter. So
he has an old man body.
Joe has an old man body?
Yep.
What exactly is an old man body?
Well, his belly hangs over his waist, and then he always sits like slightly leaned back. And I don't know. That's funny.
Oh,
and then like
yeah.
I don't know, the way his hips are shaped, it always just looks like an old man.
He looks like an old man, huh?
Yep.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but you may have a little flatter stomach than him, but I think you guys have the same hips.
I don't know if we have the same hips.
I think so. I've had
hips.
to dress you guys, you know, forever and ever. You guys all have the same hips. So far, we're not sure if anybody got Warren's hips. Pretty much everybody has my hips. Maria might have Dad's hips. The verdict is still out on that, so we'll see what comes. But okay, let's do algebra. Okay, it is 10 o'clock now, and so for all of you homeschooling mamas, I just want to share that we were just doing our reading, and so we had started this. Doesn't want to focus on it. The Family Under the Bridge. We actually started reading this book a couple weeks ago, but we only read like 2 pages, and it just got put away. So we restarted it today because I had already forgotten. And if you have not read this book yet, oh my goodness, we are only 2 chapters in, and I'm not going to lie, it's bringing a few tears to this mama's eyes. Sweet story so far. I don't know how I've made it this far in life. I've never ever read this, not as a child, not to my older kids. But anyway, we're enjoying it, I think. Are you guys enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It took a few pages to kind of get into it because it takes place in Paris, and definitely some of the, you know, it's really introduced us to some new words. Monsieur and a beret, and what other words did it introduce us to? The Seine River. And so, anyway, good book. Come on, Joe. It's been a while since I've kind of shared information about early reading and things like that. At least it feels like a while. And I just wanted to point out again these books. A beginning, just wait, Joe. A beginning to read book. There is a whole series of, like, there's some non-fiction style books. There's a whole line of these Dear Dragon books. There's a whole line of fairy tales and folk tales. Anyway, I really enjoy. What do you think, Joe? You don't, huh? I really, really enjoy these books for learning all of the Dolch. Let me just show a page quick. Just quick. And I've really enjoyed these books over the years to introduce all of the Dolch word list words, which would be kind of like the sight words, I guess, in the, beginning reading world. So if you are interested in looking at these books a little bit more, I'll just throw a link in the description box over to Amazon, which is pretty much where I get them. Sometimes I find them used too, which is kind of nice, like at library sales and stuff like that. They'll be getting rid of some of the old ones because they do update it now and then. One of my favorite parts of the day is when Sam brings out his guitar and just kind of starts strumming away and plinking for me. A lot of times I'm like doing laundry and I'm kind of running back and forth, maybe clearing the table, cleaning up lunch stuff or whatever it might be, but I just love that part of the day. And I have to catch myself because sometimes I'm like, oh, Sam, you got schoolwork to do. You got to get going on your IEW, Intensive Institute for Excellence in Writing. I'm like, you got to get going on that. We have to do an algebra lesson or correct or whatever. And then I just have to take a step back and go, yeah, but that's important too. It's important to him. And I enjoy it so much. So, okay, I hope that you guys enjoy listening to him as I run around and do my cleaning up.
Heard that riff before.
Probably you.
I just figured it out right there. Let me know if you guys know what song that riff is from. You went off a little bit on that song.
Okay, it is now 1:45 here. We had lunch actually a little on the early side, and then, I've just been doing laundry and cleaning up, and actually I think I have footage of all of that. So I just wanted to point out and ask you guys a question. If you're in homeschooling, do you use timers in your homeschool? So I think that, someone's texting me. I think it's super helpful to use timers, especially if you have kids who get distracted or feel like school is kind of a drag and it takes them too long. Sometimes just setting a timer and pushing them to beat the timer, it gets things done quicker. It gives them more time to run out and play. So that's what I've got going with Peter back there in the background there. He is actually working on writing his spelling words, adding those into sentences. And so I give him 2 minutes per sentence, and rather than give him like an entire 24 minutes for the timer to go off, we're doing it 2 minutes at a time so that each sentence is like its own little mini timer. And I think it's just going to help him to stay focused and to get this done quicker. We'll see how it goes today. This is the first time I'm actually doing it 2 minutes at a time for each sentence. But in the meantime, what I'm going to work on is I'm going to start getting out some ingredients because I'd like to make some bread today. The last time I made a whole wheat bread, it was right off the back of the whole wheat flour bag, and it was a complete flop. It did not rise. I have no idea. I've never honestly had that happen to that extent. But I'm going to get out my trusty old recipe, which is called honey wheat bread, and get that going. Sorry for the bad lighting here. There, that's so much better. Joseph and Maria are coloring wrapping paper right now, and Sam is supposed to be doing school. Awesome.
Lucy, Joe, I'll finish taping the 2 wrapping paper together. Okay, well, I finished my sentence. I'm gonna go say hi to Dad. Okay, I'm gonna go say hi to Dad too.
Okay, well, I just had to change my plan here because my honey whole wheat recipe, Emily actually has it right now to input it into the cookbook. And so I'm just going to make a basic whole wheat recipe that comes, this is like in the cookbook from my original, what is that called, bread maker, the original bread machine that I had. I don't have that one anymore, but I still keep the cookbook and make that recipe quite often. So I'm going to pull out my bread machine, I'm going to put the ingredients in there, but then I like to stop it at the dough cycle and then shape it and put it into the oven. So we're going to go with that, and everyone's excited because Dad's home. He was at a meeting all morning, literally all morning. I think he left at, I don't even know, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock? What time did he leave? Anyway, he left early and now he's home, so they're all excited. Okay, Okay, so my battery had run out while I was putting in the ingredients, but I have the bread in the dough maker here, and in the bread maker here, and it says that this is a whole wheat recipe, which is really, I mean, that's kind of a lie because, well, I guess it isn't because all the flour is made from wheat, but it only uses 2/3 cup of whole wheat, and the rest of it is just like a white bread flour. So, all right, so we're gonna give this about an hour. I think it goes an hour and 30 minutes, and then we'll roll it out and get it in the pan. I definitely have enough noise going in the kitchen right now between the bread machine and now I have some meat going. So the other day I cooked up all, like the day after, no, well, it might have been the same night that I did my great big grocery haul for the month. I cooked all of the hamburger that I bought. Just a second. So the day that I did my great big once a month grocery haul, that night what I did was I cooked up all of the ground beef. I separated it out into Ziploc bags with whatever it was earmarked for, like whatever recipe I was going to be making with it. I added like seasoning to the meat. I added all the onions. I just kind of got it all ready to go. So then, the bread machine is so loud. So then when it was the day that I was ready to make that meal, it's just that much faster. So I have the meat going right now. I just put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom just to kind of start the process again of it just kind of warming up. And truth be told, I love that little crust that gets on the bottom of the soup kettle before you add in like all the liquid and stuff like that. It just adds a lot of really good flavor to the soup. So I'm just gonna get everything going for this. Hug and Kiss soup is really just a name, just came from Warren's mom because it was like, everybody loved the soup so much that it was like getting a great big hug and kiss from mom. So anyway, I'm going to get that going. I have to chop up potatoes and carrots and celery. I already have the onions. I use my home canned tomato juice, a couple bay leaves, a couple teaspoons of beef soup base, and that's pretty much going to be it. Is this not one of the funniest things? So these are the carrots that we grew this year, and although we got a ton of them, look at how crazy they are. They're so short, and I mean here, this one got kind of a normal size to it, or a normal shape, but they all kind of like grew. They look like little orange potatoes to me. Peter wants...
Some of them, when me and Marie were pulling them, some of them even looked like they had like 2 legs.
Really?
Yeah. It would be like, so a circle, it would be like,
and then 2 carrots off of it. Huh.
Yeah.
I know. So I'm just going to get these peeled up and dice them up for the soup. But I just wanted to show you guys what are carrots. And I have an entire wagon of these that all look like that. Okay, all the veggies are in. I also put in the 2 teaspoons of chicken, the Knorr beef flavoring, and then a teaspoon of pepper. I'm also going to put in a couple teaspoons of salt, and then from there, all I have, oh, and a bay leaf. And then what I'm going to do is put the cover on and just let it simmer until all the vegetables are done. And then at the very end, I'll just be adding 2 quarts of tomato juice. We'll let that warm all up and then it'll be ready to go. Now sometimes I will add barley to this. That's not in the original recipe, but it's something that my family has come to like, especially the kids. But I think tonight I'm just going to, I think, but I actually know. Tonight I'm going to leave it just like this because we're also going to be having whiskey burgers for supper. And then really whatever else I can seem to kind of make happen. So in an hour, we do have to leave for religious ed. So I do have to get Joseph and Peter and Maria over to, over for CCD. And then I have to get back and pick them up. So I don't have a whole lot of time to work with, but kind of back and forth, we'll get it all done. Peter's just finishing up his last page in his skills book. Joe is looking at photo albums. Maria's picking up her toys because they want to go with Warren to check traps. He's going to be checking muskrat traps shortly. And I think a couple of those are yours, aren't they, Peter? You have 1 trap set as well? Okay, so Peter also has a trap that he needs to check. So, yeah, that's kind of what's going down. And that is how we homeschool most of the time around here. In and out, back and forth between all the little things that we have to do. And that's where if I keep homeschooling as simple as possible and I have it focused in my mind, then I can stay focused on them. Which reminds me, I haven't heard from Sam in a while, so I should probably go see what he's doing. He heard me. He's looking at his paper. You gonna make those whatever it's called, the edits?
Yep.
Look at your room. I'll have to zoom in on you so we don't see the whole room. That looks really nice there. Okay, so what all did you do this whole time that you've been in here? Did you get things crossed off your list?
Yes.
That's good.
Oh, I did my Patriots history, science, the loop chapter, and now I have to
Make your edits.
do my edits.
We still have to do the new algebra lesson, don't we? We got the old one corrected and gone over, now we have to do the new one.
Yeah.
Since the kids are not in here, I thought I would take advantage of this time and just make up some Chewy brownie cookies. So what makes these cookies, I think, so good is that just like Blondie bar recipes call for all brown sugar typically, these call for all brown sugar. And I think it just gives them that brownie texture, just really chewy, really, really good cookie. So I will, I'll put recipes and things in the description box below, or at least link to them if I can find them. Okay, a couple cookie tips for you. So I like to bake my cookies on a light colored pan. I feel like they just don't get quite as brown that way. Funny, because these are actually chocolate cookies, but I just mean like the bottoms. So that is one tip for you. If you like a very uniform style cookie, just kind of go around and kind of tap in the edges, and then you won't get all of those little edges. These, I will do that too, but I'm just not going to flatten them down at all. Okay, just a sec. Hi there, Peter.
We got 2 muskrats.
That's awesome. Joe, hello, Joe over there playing with Woody already, right? Woody.
So plain, did you?
Woody, and who else do you have there?
Bus Ranger.
Buzz. Space Ranger. Maria. So I got Sam in the kitchen here for me. He's going to take over. Are you going to eat the dough or are you going to bake the dough?
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, so he's making the cookies right now. I did get the bread rolled out and, you know, shaped. So that is going to go until I get back home, and then I will bake the bread. And then probably as soon as the bread is done baking, it's going to be time to go pick those kiddos up from CCD again. All right, Joe, let's go.
You're making whiskey burgers for supper, right?
Yes, we're going to make whiskey burgers. I also have Hug and Kiss soup.
Sweet.
And bread.
Mom, watch.
Sweet.
So tonight for supper it's whiskey burgers. Basically we just make these hamburger patties that I buy from the store. Then you top it with a piece of cheddar cheese, and then on top of that is this like onion whiskey barbecue sauce. So sometimes I will put jalapenos like diced up, maybe just a couple little pieces in here, but I just didn't tonight. I really didn't have time, and so I didn't, but that's what it is. So Sam's gonna put one together here.
Sorry, Amber. I'm sorry.
And that there is a whiskey burger. Okay, and then over here is the soup. And so
Sorry, guys.
I'm not sure if anybody's going to have soup tonight or not, but if not, we have it for tomorrow. How's your burger, Joe?
Sorry, guys.
What are you sorry for?
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Tana.
Really?
And then we have the bread. So that is kind
Sorry,
of our,
guys.
that's our supper here.
Sorry, guys.